Hi guys, hope you're well. Dr. Assistant here, just with a new video. Before we start, we're just going to have a little refresher about the branches of the subclavian artery yesterday. As I mentioned, I made a mistake when I was talking about the branches. Please remember that subclavian artery is a branch of the arch of the artery on the left and the brachiocephalic trunk on the right. The subclavian artery itself has 5 main branches, which would be the vertebral, internal thoracic, thyrocervical, costocervical, and dorsoscapular. But today we're going to focus on the two that is just circle, which would be the internal thoracic and the thyrocervical artery. The internal thoracic artery is actually very important as it is used during cardiopulmonary bypass to anastomose the left anterior descending artery of the heart, and it's also used by plastic surgeons for free flaps. And another important reason is that it's actually a branch, it's actually a blood supply of the heart, of the breast, that along with the 2 branches from the axillary artery, which should be the thoracoacromial and the laterothoracic, as well as there's also branches from the intercostal, there are also intercostal branches. Branches of the internal thoracic artery can be represented by the acronym PAMPS. There are 5 branches, which are the pericardical-phrenic, anterior intercostal, muscular-phrenic, perforating branches, and the superior epigastric branches. Please remember the superior epigastric anastomose with the inferior epigastric branches to supply the trunk, the abdominal trunk. As I mentioned, also the thyrocervical is also very important because the inferior thyroid artery is a branch of the thyrocervical trunk. But remember that the thyrocervical trunk can actually be a branch of the subclavian artery, and it can actually branch directly from the the suprascapular artery, which is a branch of the thyrocervical trunk, can actually be a branch of the thyrocervical artery or the subclavian artery. But in this case, we're gonna mention the branches as though the suprascapular artery is a branch of the thyrocervical artery. So branches of the thyrocervical artery or thyrocervical trunk would be represented by the acronym ACIT, which would be the ascending cervical, transverse cervical, suprascapular, and the inferior thyroid artery, as I mentioned before. Just to divert a bit, the inferior thyroid artery supplies the thyroid, as the name suggests, along with the superior thyroid artery. Now, the superior thyroid artery is a branch of the external carotid artery, and we need to know the branches of the external carotid artery for the Mrcs, and I represent that by the acronym SALFOPS. And the branches will be superior, so superior thyroid, ascending pharyngeal, linguofacial, occipital, posterior auricular, and then the superficial temporal. And then there's also a branch or the terminal branch, which would be the maxillary along with the superficial temporal. Okay. There's also another blood supply to the thyroid gland, which would be the thyroid ema artery. The thyroid ema artery, however, can be a branch of the arch of the aorta. It can be a branch of the brachiocephalic artery. Either or. There are also variants in anatomy, so you have to keep that in mind for the Mrcs examination because, as you know, it's an examination requiring breadth of knowledge. Okay. Moving on to the branches the path of the suprascapular artery is pretty important because, for one, it crosses 4 main structures that are represented by this acronym PABS. It crosses the phrenic nerve, as well as the anterior scalene, the brachial plexus, as well as the subclavian artery, and then it passes infralaterally, and then it passes infralaterally over these structures, and then it passes posterolaterally and parallel to the clavicle, where it traverses the scapular ligament to the supraspinous fossa. Now, remember that the scapula has a triangular shape with a spine that runs in the center, creating the supraspinous fossa and the infraspinous fossa. So it runs to the supraspinous fossa, the suprascapular artery, and then it runs to the infraspinous fossa. So just keep that in mind as well too. We're going to talk about the branches of the axillary artery. So the axillary artery is actually well divided because the first branch has 1 branch, the second branch has 2 branches, and the third branch has 3 branches. I've already told you the second branches of the second branch is 2 branches, which will be the thoracoacromial and laterothoracic. And if you remember, I mentioned that they are the supply of the breast, along with the internal thoracic, as well as the intercostal branches. So the first branch is the superior thoracic. Second branches will be 2, which will be the thoracoacromial and laterothoracic. The third branches will be represented by SAP, and that would be the subscapular and anterior posterior circumflexumoral. So the subscapular is below, suprascapular is above. Just remember that supra is above. Okay? Moving on, one thing you have to remember for the MRCS is a lot of spaces. They like to ask about spaces, so I'm going to mention one. Spaces, fossa, a lot of boundaries, like for instance the antecubital fossa of the hand, they like to mention those kind of things. So for one, I'm going to mention the quadrangular space. Quadrangular space. And the quadrangular space is formed laterally by the surgical neck of the humerus here. Medially, it's formed by the long head of the triceps. Superiorly, it's formed by the teres minor. Inferiorly, it's formed by the teres major. And through it runs the posterior circumflex femoral as well as the axillary nerve. The axillary nerve runs from the subclavian artery along, after it passes the lateral border of the first rib. It becomes the axillary artery, and after it passes the teres major, it becomes the brachial artery, and the same goes for the axillary vein. After it comes from the teres major up, it's formed by the brachial as well as the basilic veins, and it comes up and joins the cephalic vein. And after it passes the first rib, it becomes the subclavian vein. So, guys, I hope this helps, and please keep subscribing to my videos. I love the support. Thanks.